Hi, it's Brett Elliott, medical herbalist, and today I'm here to talk to you about meat versus vegetables. It's a big subject. There's a lot of talk around about the benefits of vegetables and going vegetarian and vegan and that sort of thing. And there's also a lot of controversy around whether we need meat or not. So just a couple of things on, first of all, do we need meat? The answer to that is no, we don't. We get more than enough nutrition and protein from plant-based foods. So the only thing that a vegan might get a little bit deficient in is B12. So it's probably important to have some eggs or to get a B12 supplement. Other than that, absolutely everything you can get from vegetables. In fact, B12 used to be made by plants as well until they started spraying and using fertilizers to grow the plants. So that's why B12 is now a problem. So the other thing is there's a lot of talk around the environmental impacts of farming animals. There's whole documentaries on that you can watch, like What the Health is a good one that talks about that. But for example, one piece of steak, 1 pound of steak apparently requires 10,000 litres of water if you look at the lifetime of the animal and the amount of water it needs. But also the amount of feed that animals need that they require to eat uses huge tracts of land around the world. So deforestation is happening because of our meat industry. So that's another interesting thing. But really, let's get back to the nutritional side of it and the health benefits, because those are the most important things from our perspective. A lot of people, when they do a detox program or a weight management program, such as our Herbal Detox or Herbal Slim, are recommended to go on with the detox 100% plant-based diet. And they feel amazing. And usually blood tests all improve when they do this diet. So let's explain a little bit about how that happens. First of all, when you look at meat in the animal kingdom is consumed raw. So all carnivorous animals eat raw meat. And there's been a big study on that where they've studied 900 cats, and you'll find links to that information around this video, is after 3 generations of feeding those cats either raw meat or cooked meat, the animals on cooked meat became 100% infertile. They couldn't reproduce. Whereas animals on raw meat were absolutely fine. And what does that say about us as human beings? Because we consume 99% of the time our meat is cooked. And it's very seldom you'll have raw meat unless you have 100% rare steak. But the basis behind this is that the raw meat has got all the nutrition in it that it should have, whereas the cooked meat has been basically destroyed by the cooking process. And look at our infertility rates around the world. They're skyrocketing. We've got infertility clinics popping up all over the place. So that's one thing. Meat is really designed to be eaten raw by carnivorous animals. The other thing is meat is very, very acidic versus vegetables, where vegetables are very alkaline and alkalizing because they're high in potassium, and so that's the major alkaline mineral in your body. Meat, on the other hand, is very, very high in protein, and it's very acid forming and very, very inflammatory. So we get a lot of problems with acid in our body. Cancer is one of them. Cancer loves an acid body. And what happens is over time is the kidneys can't deal with the acid load that's coming into the body continuously over years. And so the kidneys start to become unable to deal with the acid, and you get things like arthritis, kidney stones, gout, and cancer is one of those things. So having an alkaline diet, in other words a fruit and vegetable diet, is much better for your health in that respect. And the other thing with meat is parasites and bacteria and infectious diseases. So when you think about the big pandemics around the world, they've always been related to animals. So you've got mad cow disease, swine flu, bird flu, and recently COVID-19, all originated with animals. So animal consumption and meat eating is responsible for these pandemics. And also we can get parasites from animals. So worms, bacteria, Campylobacter, Salmonella, and all of these infectious parasites that can infect our gut and make us unwell. Largely, animal food and meat products are responsible for that. So, that's starting to stack up, isn't it? And another thing is they've found a strong link to diabetes. So diabetes is on an epidemic worldwide, and this is largely down to meat. And you might think sugar, yes, sugar is a big factor in that, but when you combine the sugar and the meat in the diet, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, is almost certain to eventually happen. and that's why it's becoming so common. Another thing is heart disease. They've also found that there's a number of indicators for heart disease and meat consumption. In fact, they've found that 34% increase in heart disease with regular meat eaters, and also a 23% increase in early death. So these people are actually dying younger because they're eating meat. So yeah, there's a lot of benefits from going plant-based. And lastly, I just thought I'd mention some of the nutrients that you may be missing if you have a lot of meat and not enough of the vegetables. The vegetables contain things like fibre, which is extremely good for your gut and your health in general, and your cholesterol levels. Enzymes, which are extremely good for your digestion. So if you're struggling with digestion or bloating or gas or inflammatory bowel disease or anything like that, then have more fruit and vegetables, less meat. And also less processed food in general. The other thing is vitamins. So the vitamin C, I mean, that was a big discovery, a couple hundred years ago when they found vitamin C was necessary to keep your body together, basically. You'd fall apart if you were just consuming meat and not having your vegetables. And lastly, there's the other things which are called phytonutrients and polysaccharides, and there's many other compounds in plants that are medicinal, that actually heal the body, and you don't get those in meat. So the more plant-based you go, the more your body will heal, the more alkaline it will be, the less heart disease and cancer and diabetes you'll have. Not only that, but a big, huge bonus is you'll be able to maintain your weight a lot better. Of course, this is whole food and whole fruit and vegetable foods, not processed carbohydrate foods that you buy in a packet. So I hope that's been helpful and you've got some insight into why it might be good to go vegetarian maybe. Personally, myself, I just have a couple of eggs occasionally, a bit of fish occasionally, but that's pretty much it. Otherwise, I'm vegetable based the rest of the time. So yes, it is good to go vegetarian. And I hope that's been an informative video, and we'll talk to you again soon.